All right. Here's them live. All right. Here's them live. Wondering if I'm going to need you know those things you can buy for your wall in a room that sound. Hey, coffee breath. How you doing? I think it's just you and me right now, and I don't know, maybe a few people on Twitter. I'm not monitoring that. But nonetheless, got some work to do, so I decided to share. Getting close to finishing a lot of my commissions, getting closer, I should say. Still have some that need to be done, but I'm making progress, and that's a good thing. Looking, let's see. Looking for a little scrap piece of paper because I'm gonna need it. And I should have had that handy. Living the dream. Yeah, there you go, man. Oh, what a wonderful thing, right? Anyway, glad you're here. Have not had my coffee today. Had two yesterday. Two large ones. Two large coffees from Dunkin'. Okay, what do I got here? No, I don't want to use that. What's this? I need a little bit thicker piece of paper, maybe. Okay. That's a blue line printout of the thing. That'll, because I'm going to have to, on this Batman Beyond, do the blacks on his suit. So don't necessarily want to get them on this drawing surface. This is just a piece of hardwood cut to the size of the drawing board that sits on top of my drawing board. Oh, hey. I might have to, after this stream, I might have to run out and get a coffee. I stayed up a little late last night, late for me at least, around 12:30. Whoa. All right. So I just put a new cartridge in this and gave it a squeeze, and a little more ink than I needed right now came out, so, but that's okay. We will get through it. I am trying to figure out a schedule for streaming. Probably twice a week. In actuality, I could stream every day, but I think that's a bit overkill. And I do like to have some time off camera so I can prepare work. But I do both things. I sketch and ink. Hello, Adam. Glad to see you here. Thanks for dropping in. And you know, I'm going to check my YouTube to make sure that the framing is the same as what I'm seeing in the back of StreamYard. Yep, looks good. All right. So I know probably sometime this month I will have a a live draw where people can order a sketch and see it drawn live. Or maybe I'll take some and then get the drawing done and ink them live. Just have to see how that goes. Excuse me. Hello to the new people who have come in. I'm only monitoring YouTube, so don't know what's going on in the Twitterverse unless somebody actually speaks up and says hello. Whoops. Hey, Kyle. I actually got a glare on it. Got your Rocketeer laid out, ready to go to inks. So that will be coming up. Mario. So far, so good. Making progress on my commissions list, which is always a good thing. When I ink this Rocketeer piece, well, not this one, but the one I showed, that'll take care of Kyle and I'll be able to make a mailing. Yeah, let me pull out that Dark Knight for anybody that hasn't seen it. Got a little collection of art here that needs to be wrapped up and shipped out, but you have a second piece, so this is the Dark Knight watercolor. Of course, I'm hitting it with a really bright 6,000 Kelvin. I think it's 6,000 or 55 100 Kelvin daylight. But there it is. Got it signed too. Added color because I really liked the drawing, and I thought, it would make a good sample for my watercolor portraits. So decided to go ahead and paint it. Glad I did. And make sure this little part's dry so my pinky doesn't go in it. Hey, Bob. Did y'all see the penguin in the Captain America that I've done? I've been having a blast on the watercolor portraits, and hopefully, now that I've done some, I will get some commissions for those. They will not be at the best deal that I was offering when some people chimed in, which was, I think it was February, March. I had a Twitter special. If you mentioned it, you got an upgrade from a 9x12 headshot to free added color. I wasn't going to go that far with them as far as the color, to tell the truth. But once I kind of got into it, I really found myself enjoying it. So I went all out. And I think those will look great hanging on your wall. Yes, they do, Coffee Breath. Ink and watercolor do make a good mix. Oh, that'd be great, Kyle. Yeah. Still waiting to see. Can't. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Kind of in a holding pattern. I think any type of conventions this year might be a bust and or maybe a mistake. I know it's tough. It's tough on me. That was for the last 4 years, doing conventions was probably, no lie, 85-90% of my income, if not closer to 100. So yeah, I'm back at the board a little more right now, which is not a bad thing either. Hey, Hyper. Glad you could make my stream. I know you couldn't make Gerald's last night. Well, no, Adam, the watercolors are not on the commission sheet. I want to get the ones I have done. And then I got to figure out a price. Kirk has one coming. It's a vigilante. I might actually start that tomorrow. You know, he gave me Vigilante and Enemy Ace. I love Enemy Ace. Oh, I love that book. I love what Kubert did on it. We'll see. I still might. Maybe I'll go back and do an Enemy Ace on it. I'm thinking Vigilante though. If I do Vigilante, since he's got such a dark costume, there's a few things I can do with it, but I'll have to throw in a gun or something for Kirk to make up for the sparsity of his outfit. Sparsity, I guess that's a word. And let me get these out. I had to make a little trip to Alabama. And I stopped by Gerald's house and I found my circle templates. Look at all these he had pilfered from me. Look at that. So I finally got them back. And we all know I'm just joking, but it makes for a good joke if you know the inside joke, which probably there's a lot of people that don't. All right. Losing tools here. Never fun. Not really losing them, just looking for the right one. Oh. Hey, Ken. Yes, he did steal them. Man, he stole them. When he was in my office and I went down to the restroom, thought I could leave him there alone. Didn't realize that they were gone until I needed them. And then he pulled them out on his stream. The same ones. Now, come on. Gerald does not buy art supplies unless they're from a garage sale. Or so he says. So I hope they didn't. I hope I didn't disturb the Albright family when I was rummaging around getting my stuff last night. I don't think I did. That's why I really couldn't be on the stream. I was driving, Ron and I. I was keeping the convo going. While Ron was driving. And Ron drives fast, so we made it there in record time. Indeed, we did. Wow, that was. Sorry if I made y'all dizzy there, turning this around. It's just when I put that little bit of wet ink, I don't want to smudge it. That would not be prudent. All right. Let's take a look at the chat. Yes, that's true, Kurt. Yeah, hey, I was up to 468 and lost 2 subscribers. You know, when you're in these low numbers, you you know when you lose a subscriber, and it kind of hurts. You're like, where'd they go? What'd I do? I just put a time lapse up yesterday. I did 2 streams last week. Actually, some of my biggest growth period is when I wasn't streaming for a while. I was having people subscribe, which I thought was kind of interesting. All right, so I'm going to set this aside to dry. Like I said, this one is for Chris Boyer over in the UK. So is the Penguin. I know what I can do. Hey, Gino, I am going to, I don't know if you all know about this site, comicartfans.com, but let's see. I'll share my screen here in a second. All right, let me get back into StreamYard and share screen. Let's see. Just reading here. Share screen. Chrome has a bug that can cause machines crash on Windows 10. Well, I'm going to try it. And I'm going to go to a Chrome tab. And I'm going to go to this one. And I'm going to share. And are we sharing? Yes, we are. Okay, so I'm going to make this. And these are the, it's my little gallery that I started. So I have to go here. This is the Captain America for, what is this? Sharing tab on, oh, I see. That's a StreamYard thing. So this is the Captain America piece. And I can't see anybody's comments if you're commenting, so. The Penguin. And, of course, the last one I just finished, The Dark Knight. So I am going to stop sharing that screen. And I'm back to normal. Back to normal, I guess. Let's see. Okay, then getting rid of a little junk mail here on my phone. All right. Rocketeer. Gonna have to do a little French curve work on him. Hey, Trainwreck. Well, I appreciate the support and the compliments. It's very kind of you. I hear my mom's phone ringing. That could be the kidney lady calling her. Yes, I hear the name on the caller ID. You all might be able to hear it also. This Yeti microphone in my small room of my house might just be picking up all sorts of sounds. Hopefully not, but hey. The show must go on, right? And those of you familiar with the show know the kidney lady is my sister. It's a joke about the character in Howard the Duck. Brought back to life by Mike Cross by reminding me of that, which I had forgotten. So I hope everybody is doing well today. Staying safe. No, that's not a little hair. It's a little pencil line. I actually like the ink that comes in these little cartridges that you can buy for this pen. The only thing is it takes a little bit longer than my beloved Pelican ink that I normally use in my brushes to dry. So sometimes I pick up a little bit on my pinky and then I get a little tacky somewhere else. So I'm trying to avoid that. I do not have Dad Rap to play. You know, I should get that as a WAV file or something from Gerald. and let him give me permission to play it, to help that go viral for him. Of course, I might run away some of my audience. Everybody is not a fan of the dad rap song, and I understand that. Okay, got a question from Gino. So, John, do you know whatever happened to the Cartoon Museum? Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Jim Ivey is still alive and kicking at age 95. He actually had it down on 436 in Pershing after he moved from Bull Plaza, which I don't know, that's probably where you know it from. Well, no, you don't know it from Bull Plaza, probably. You probably know it from Pershing in 436. Then Jim moved into a house that he could also run a business out of, which he catered more into used books and magazines. He had some comics at that point, but he had actually sold the Cartoon Museum to a couple of people in the Orlando area who were still involved in the comics. So he sold his stock and his stock. I mean, his stock is in back issues, long boxes, stuff like that. And then Jim ran it out of this house for quite a long time. He lived there, and now he's actually living with a nice couple. And we usually try to see him once or twice a year, once on his birthday, and then once just to see how he's doing. And Craig Zablo usually puts that together. And Jim kind of has his good times and his bad times. There was one time I hadn't been over in I couldn't make the dates Craig had set and that Jim could make. So it was probably close to 2 years. And Craig went up, got Jim, got him in the car, and we start to pull out of the driveway, and Jim, just as honest as can be, says, "Pardon me, sir, but I don't think we've been introduced." And that was kind of scary, because I've known Jim since I was like 16 or 17. And even when Craig told him, "That's Big John, Jim," he had that senior moment where he wasn't remembering. But I did see a picture. Of course, his birthday is in April. They had a birthday party for him where he lives. And another friend of ours was able to get pictures from the lady. And Jim looked great. He looked really good. Best I've seen him in a long time. So that's basically, he worked it until he just was tired of it, didn't want to do it anymore, had different incarnations of it, and finally got out and really retired. like what Mr. Zablo is doing now, being really retired. Yeah, they can. They can. I don't know what episode it is on your YouTube channel, Genome, but if you know offhand and want to put it in the chat, could you tell that story about meeting me and being at the Cartoon Museum? And I don't remember it, but I believe it's true because you were there. Oh, sure. Move while I'm working. I see how you are. Of course, it's only your first move. I'm telling you, I am gonna play. If you study not the game we just played, but the game before, I'm using that same line opening. That's my new opening when I play white. Thanks to GM Ginger. So you can go look at where I'm going to move. You should know my next move already. Yes, indeed, you should. Hey, that's the best part, is that cigar smell on your books when you got them from Jim's. You know, that's still fondly remembered to this day. If you have a book that smells like a cigar, or maybe some pipe tobacco, it's like, did you get that book from Jim Ivey, or did you know Jim Ivey? Okay, looks like I got a long question here. So let's see. Trainwreck D says, this might be something that you have talked about before, but did you ever work with John Byrne, and on what project? Also, if you did work with him, what was it like? Yes, I did work with John Byrne on 2 issues. Well, the first time I worked with him, it was 2 issues of Adventures of Superman. There is if you Google John Beatty, John Byrne haircut, you might be able to find the pictures. It's kind of long to go into right now, but needless to say, one day I'll have to again. But yeah, so anyway, there was a deal made at one of his parties at his house in Connecticut, and I inked 2 issues of the book. And then about that time, I believe Time Magazine came out with that Superman's, I want to say 75 or whatever issue. And John got upset about something in the way the interview was handled or the way it was reported or something. So 2 issues and he quit. And I continued on. I inked Carrie Gamble for, I think, 2 issues. And then I forget what I moved on to, but I inked Burn again over at Marvel on I think it was an Amazing Spider-Man issue. It was like this double-sized thing, and it ended with it had Mysterio on the splash, and the last page had this nice shot of Venom, and this was over his layout, so a lot of the rendering and stuff in that issue was me. His layouts were great though. They were fine. And I had, John and I got along fine. We had no problems. I'd known him not really well, but I knew him when I would go up to Connecticut to hang out with Mike Zeck. If Byrne was having one of his notorious barbecue, volleyball, whatever parties, we would always get an invite and head over for the day. So yeah, I got no complaints with the man. I've heard stories, but haven't we all? I know there's stories out there about me. I'm sure that may be true or not true, depending on your viewpoint. Or the source. Let's see. That's fine though, Gino. No, I'm just saying, I look at moves. I'll move and think about it and then go like, oh, wait a minute. What I'm saying is, the GMs and the IMs and all the other M's in chess, they will study their opponent and see what are their favorite openings and stuff like that. That's all I'm saying is I've been playing this opening for white for about, I'm going to say 5 months now. And I really like it. It's the London. It's accelerated London is what he calls it, I think. Let's see. Let's go ahead and make this a shape. On the last game we played, when you offered up your queen, you almost had me. I thought you left it hanging again. And man, I was looking at it and I'm like, all right, you know, he left his queen hanging again. And then I looked down, boom, there's your rook, just dying to come get me. I almost fell for that. Little chess talk. John Bartholomew. I think him and I. Of course, I'm not an international master. I'm nowhere. He's a fantastic player, but I kind of have the same problem that he mentioned in a video I was watching about him. Is the knights, the way they can move, and they can move backwards, forwards, all sorts of ways, and I get I get forked a lot because I get out of the way too quick. I do it too fast. I make my move and I don't see that the knight is gonna like put me in a double or maybe even a triple fork until after I place the move, and then I look at the knight and I'm like, well, they can take this, or this. So enough of that. Back to comics. Or back to inking. That's true. Hey, there's Jared. He's not going to the dentist. Jared, you're not going to the dentist. Come on. I tell you, those nights, man, if you can master them, they are deadly. Jared, I got my templates back from your house last night. I was showing them earlier. That's right. Ron and I came, snuck in, got my templates, and got out. Right? Ah, my eye started watering. I don't know why. Maybe because I got my finger in it. I figured I would make the joke before somebody else did. That's always a good thing. Beat the competition to the joke. I'm going to have to dab that eye with a tissue. I feel like something got in it when Gerald came in the room. Well, that tissue ain't going to work. It ripped. All right, here we go. Usually this just makes it worse, of course, but I think we're going to be okay. All right. I dried it for a minute. Okay. No, I do feel something in there, like a little piece of sand or something. Well, hopefully it'll get out. I'm not as bad as that morning some years back. Actually, it can't be too far back, but when I started and I'd been having trouble with my eye watering in the morning, some sort of allergy thing or something. And I literally had to stop streaming because I couldn't see. The eye was just tearing up too much. And Alpha Sun Ron told me, go get some of this and use it, and it should clear it up within the hour. And it did, but it didn't help the stream. Okay. Still beat those cavity creeps, Gerald. Okay. Thought there might be a little retort there, but what was that man eating last night? Maybe he got something stuck in his tooth. I know we were talking about Mexican food and how much we all loved it. Except for Hyper. Hyper, you don't like Mexican food, right? You love it. Yep. I literally, uh, no lie. Um, as long as they keep putting chips and salsa in front of me, I will sit there and eat it. I'll be as full as can be, but there's something about that, the crunch, the flavor. I just, and some Mexican restaurants are very good about that. They just, I love, you know what I like? I like it when you're in say a big party. Let's say 5 guys come in and they bring each person their own bowl of salsa and basket of chips. That's when you know they're doing it right. Because they know these guys are going to eat some chips. So instead of bringing like 2 for 4 or 5, just give them their own. Well, the eye seems to be doing a little bit better. Let's see, get rid of some of this, and let's see, genomes move on me. Typical normal play. Nothing outlandish yet. Now I need a little more ink flow. There we go. And it's probably getting to be about lunchtime. Don't know what I'm going to have. Probably a salad. Back to the little to no carbs and sugar diet, no sugars. The pandemic has probably put weight on many people, myself included. And for the sake of time, no need for me to fill the blacks in on a live stream. My voice is going. You know what that means. Time for a sip of my favorite beverage right now, lemon LaCroix. Do yourself a favor. I've tried the other flavors, almost all of them, but lemon has absolutely been my favorite. And the Rocketeer in his leather jacket. I think we don't do anything else to it except erase it when it's dry. Oh, wait. Let's see. Genome says all this cavity talk takes me back to elementary school. School. We used to have to do something every week called swish. They made us use this hospital grade industrial strength mouthwash. It was so vile that I actually got a letter from my folks, that we had mouthwash at home. I can still smell it. Yes, smell it to this day. Huh. Well, just going to make my life a little bit easier so that when I get my bigger brush out to fill in, and I think I'm going to go ahead and watercolor his symbol on his chest red. Give this one a little pop that way because it's dark, but that's Batman Beyond, or at least when I Googled him for reference, since I had never drawn him, kind of knew who he was, kind of knew he was black and red, but man, some of them are, beautiful. Some of them were beautifully done, but they were like all silhouettes with just the eyes, maybe a mouth, and the red bat. All right, my fine community of people, I thank you for coming out. Oh. I thank you all for coming out and joining me on this just a little over an hour stream. Wow, that's really good for me, especially to ink, well, fill blacks in, but to ink 2 pieces. Rocketeer for Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Always appreciate it. The Punisher would be a good rook. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If y'all haven't already, if you're out there, please give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, consider it. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I pop up and do a live stream. And I'm going to try to put together a schedule of at least 1 live stream a week and perhaps 2. I still got some stuff I need to handle, getting my office moved out of where it was into my 30 square feet of bedroom, but I'm working on that, so might be next week. But in the meantime, I will still be streaming, and hope to see you all real soon. Have a great hump day, and I will see you next time. Be good. Take care. See you later.